Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today I'm going to talk about Lego Movie 2. So, the Lego Movie 2, or considered Lego Movie 2 the second part, is a direct sequel to the first Lego movie. We've had a few spin-offs in between. We had the Batman Lego movie, we had Lego Ninjago in between, but this is the first true sequel to the first film. And the movie picks up pretty much immediately after the events of the first film. As you saw at the end of the first one, you had the little Diplo blocks show up, and it was kind of like they were taking over, like the sister was coming in, and then you kind of didn't know where it was going to go from there. And this one basically picks up as if there's basically like a war between the two different blocks and the two different societies, and some of the characters are kidnapped and taken to the other world. It's kind of a pretty convoluted story to begin with, but at the end of the day, it's basically just two kind of societies in different places trying to understand each other. And yeah, there's some twists and turns along the way. So at the end of the day, I really don't think the story itself is the important part. The message in this movie is actually really interesting, and that's the part of the film that I really enjoyed. Obviously, the visuals are incredible, just like all the other Lego movies. It's really interesting. It's a really creative medium to use to create these films. All the little Lego bricks coming together, all the little Lego bricks creating explosions and lights and creations, and all the fast animation is obviously really cool looking. It looked cool for the first movie and the other two. It's always something I really enjoyed about these movies is the visuals. I was honestly a little worried about this movie. When it first started, I was kind of let down. I thought the first quarter of the film was a little slow, and it was kind of unimaginative and uncreative, and it didn't feel like it captured that quirky creativeness of the first film and kind of the deeper messages that are in the first film. And then you get towards the end of the movie, and it really upped the ante when it came to those messages, and I really like that. I really love the way that this film integrates real life into the movie that you kind of saw at the end of the first film. And the messaging and the stories at the end of this film really is what made this a good movie, in my opinion. I do have to say, I think that the ending of the movie may have gone over little kids' heads. I think you may not understand, if you're a child, the messages at the end of the film, but you can learn to appreciate it, and as an adult you can appreciate it, and especially as a teenager you can appreciate this movie. And I really did think that they did a great job of grappling with that. I think they did a really good job of taking a message that may be lost on some people and kind of trying to play it out to appeal to all audiences. And I can't express how much I enjoyed the last third of this film. I do, however, think that the first half of the film is pretty weak, and that's kind of holds it back a little bit for me. It had some really good puns and really good jokes in it that really made the first movie land for me, and especially Lego Batman. I loved all the little in-jokes and little references to other pop culture things in that movie. That's something I really enjoy in movies. And this movie had that to some degree, especially if you see the film, the parts with Bruce Willis I thought were really funny. I thought there were a lot of really funny little in-jokes and gags in the movie. But I think as a movie in its whole, it's not as good as the first film. I think the first film was kind of almost like a lightning in the bottle type thing. It was something really incredible that we hadn't seen before, and so creative and so interesting, that using all these different intellectual properties and just the art style was so new and refreshing, that this movie kind of recycles that for a lot, especially in the beginning of the movie. And then I think it really comes into its own, and like I said, in the end, and I really enjoyed it. I think as far as ranking the Lego films, this is pretty much tied for Lego Batman with me behind the first Lego movie. I still like the first Lego movie a little bit more, but those two are neck and neck. Lego Ninjago I didn't love so much. That's a very basic movie, so that kind of falls a little flat for me. But I think if you really like the first one and you really like Lego Batman, you'll find a lot to like in this. There's a lot of Lego Batman in this movie. They knew that he was a draw, and he was a real huge focus in this film. And I think the relationships and like I said, the real life aspects of the film with the family that are taking place that you kind of saw a little bit in the first movie really get fleshed out. You really get a good message. You get a really heartwarming story wrapped up in this movie that seems really simplistic in the beginning, but then actually gets really serious and really deep in the end. And I really like that part. I can't, like I've said a million times, that is the best part of this film. And I think if you go into it expecting it to be kind of stupid and just basic, kind of like how Lego Ninjago was, you expect it to be like a really basic, just flashy story, you're not going to get that. You get a little more. In the beginning, I kind of thought that's what we were getting was like a cash grab sequel. But you get a real movie with real in-depth themes and real in-depth psychological aspects to, who you become as a person and personality and conflicts with your family and growing up. And I really like that. I really was not expecting that. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. So if I were to rate this movie, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. I think it was really good. I think it was better than I thought it was going to be. I went into it kind of expecting, like I said, like a cash grab sequel. Nothing from the trailers that made me think it was going to do anything really interesting or new or creative. It was kind of going to repeat, rinse, and recycle the same things, but it really did. But it took a little while to get there. It took a little bit of build up. I think maybe if I saw it again, I could appreciate the beginning a little bit more. But definitely the last act of this film, I personally really enjoyed. It may turn off some people because it does kind of pull back from the animation and everything like that, but I really did enjoy it. I think it was a really satisfying ending. I don't think we need another one of these movies. I think this really summed it up really nicely. And yeah, I think it was good. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and let me know how you liked it. Where does it rank in the Lego movies for you? And especially, how did you feel about the third act of the film? Did you like the way that the movie went? Not giving too many spoilers or anything, but did you really enjoy kind of the conclusion of the story? I'm interested to see what you think, because I feel like that might be the most polarizing part of the film. All right, see you guys next time.